What's going on out there, good people, and welcome back to LMD Trading, where I am, of course, living my dream. Sitting here at the desk about to get this trade recap out the way as we do every day. Today was a fairly lackluster morning, even considering that it was CPI morning. I was not at the desk this morning at market open, so anything that happened during CPI, I was not able to take advantage of. Looking at the charts right now, it doesn't look like I missed much, actually. But got back to the desk around 10-ish, sat down, kind of looked at the thumbnail watch list, what we already had loaded in there. Saw Tesla. Decided to take a trade on Tesla and made a few dollars off of it. Wasn't really that much off of it, but let's go ahead. Let's pull up the P&L and we'll kind of break it down. We're going to be looking at the trusty spreadsheet. Again, trading Tesla, we bought puts, bought 5 contracts. Average price on those contracts, $76. Paid a total of $380 for that trade. Sold those said 5 contracts for $82 or 82 cents. Getting back in return a total of $409. Difference between this one and that one is our P&L, $29. Take that P&L, divided by the total that we paid, and we get the P&L for this trade. We made 7.63% off of what we paid for the trade. Only one trade, so that number's going to be the same. And that's how we do that. Again, I like to provide this data here because I think this is good for people that are trading in small accounts to kind of just see how you can grow that account. But it all comes down to having a profitable strategy. That's what it all comes down to. You have to be able to make money, and you have to be able to make more money than you're losing. So just because you got a small account don't mean that you're going to make money. Just because I got a small account don't mean that I'm going to make money. Object is to make more gains than you are losing. So that's the grand scheme of things. Let's go ahead. Let's bring up Think or Swim. And while we're doing that, I did have someone ask me, usually, what is the strike price? What is the expiration on contracts when I'm buying them? And they'd asked if I had a video about that. And I don't, but I will make one. But just to give you a quick Cliff Notes, I don't pay attention to strike price or expiration. What I pay attention to is the delta. The delta is going to tell me what I'm going to make for every dollar that a stock moves or what I'm going to lose. Expiration, I'll buy a contract that's expiring the same day off the open. When the market is open, right when it opens, I'll buy a contract. If it's on a Friday and the contract expiring Friday, that's the one I'm buying because it's the cheapest one that you can buy and you're going to make the same delta. Now, what will get you is theta as the day goes on. But early in the morning, if I'm going to buy a contract and I don't plan on staying in that trade no longer than 30 minutes to an hour max, theta is not going to really be a factor. Anything over an hour, theta is going to start eating into the profits. So after about an hour and it's on a Friday and I'm trading a SPY, I'll go ahead and buy the Monday contract to get a little bit of wiggle room on that theta. That's the only thing I'm worrying about is the theta on that. Sometimes if I buy something and it's not on a very clean pattern, I might buy a contract that's a week, maybe 2 weeks out, and that just gives me a little extra time. But I usually don't like to do that. I like to get in and out of a trade. If I'm day trading an option contract, That's how I need to treat it. I need to treat it as a day trade, and I need to be either getting my target or getting out of it for a loss. But let's go ahead. Let's look at the SPY real quick. 8:30, right here on the 5-minute candle. CPI data was released, and we see exactly what it did. Tried to take the market down. Buyer stepped in, pushed it back up. Kind of chopped around till market open. It opened above previous high of day. And it just chopped around all day. SPY didn't really do anything at all. It's doing most of it after hours. Let's take a look and see. Nope, it's still just stagnant after hours. I thought it had made a move. It actually flushed back down. So not really much to see on the SPY this afternoon or today. We come over, look at the daily. We see we're getting a doji, and it finished right below 200 moving average. So let's see how this thing gaps in the morning, or not gap. You're assuming it's gonna gap. Let's see if it's either gonna come up or if it's gonna get pushed back down. If the 200 is gonna reject it. So that's what I'll be looking to see in the morning. Let's go ahead and bring up Tesla. Let's take a look at these trades that we took. Go ahead and blow this up and drop some arrows on the actual chart for Tesla. And then I'll kind of explain the trade as I saw it. So this was our first exit. And this was our second exit. Oh, and I don't have this set to arrows. So let's go back and let's redo it. There's an arrow. All right, there's going to be the other arrow, and right there. So Tesla opened inside the previous day's candle, flushed down, got outside of it, came back up, retest, fails. Good entries right there. That's a good sell setup entry. Boom, flushes down, comes down to this area we got marked on the chart, comes up, retest, and it holds. Comes back up, retest, and it holds. If you wanted to, you can start going back long again. Kind of aggressive. That's first higher low, another higher low right there. Then we get this move back up to previous day's low. And it just chopped around. And this is about the time that I got back to my desk. Chopping around, pushes down below VWAP. And I get in right here as it's pushing down below VWAP. My stop on this is going to be if this comes back above previous day's close, retest, and looks to go higher. We get the move back up to previous day's low, and it pushes back down a little bit. And if you look up here on the options, you see I kind of scaled out. First sell order, I got rid of 3 contracts at 79 cents. Basically making $10. Next 2 of them, I scale out 86 cents and 86 cents. So got out of both of those for 86 cents as it pushed down. I got out of these last 2 as it was testing the whole number of 119. Now, when I took this initial trade, I was looking for this to come back down to this area right here. Because if you look, let's see, I'm going to drop a line. Now I need to change this back to a line. If you look right here, see all of these areas right there? I'm going to drop that line. So when this came down, it was using this as the ceiling. When it got above it, it used it as the floor. So I was looking for this to push back down. But we did have an intermediary area right there. I could drop a line. This was another area. This was the floor. Pushing it back up. Floor, pushing it back up. So when this came, and look right there at the whole number, 119, when this was using this as the floor again, I said, let me go ahead and get out of the trade. Then let's come on and scroll on over some more. We do see that it came back up to the previous low of day, rejected it. It came back down, used that area as the floor again. Didn't get back up to the previous low of day. It got the VWAP, and then it finally broke and came down a little bit lower. Let's come up and look and see the high of that. So the high of that candle was 96 cents. We paid 76 cents. That was $20. 5 contracts. Had we stayed in and rode that out, possibility we could have made $100. I didn't want to take that chance because, for one, that was the whole number of 119. And two, you can come right there and see that this was acting as the floor, acting as the floor. It acted as the floor, acted as the floor. Nope, let's go ahead, lock them gains in, and then we can look for another trade if need be. But that was our one trade of the day in the cash account. I did take another trade on American Airlines. Man, that thing is super strong, super strong. I'm in some puts on that long term. Gave it a lot of time. Let's take a look at the chart real quick. Look at this thing. Look at all of these green candles this thing has been spitting off. It gaps up huge today on huge volume. If you've studied professional trading strategies, you up 6 candles or you up 3-4 candles, think sell. You get up 5 or 6, really think sell. And then you get this gap up on huge volume. This is like what they call ending. This is like a candle that's going to end this move. So I grabbed some puts and I got a lot of time on those puts. And if you look at this move to this move, I could see this coming back down. Half of that move is about right where the 200 moving average is. So that's what I'm going to be looking for American Airlines to do in the next couple of weeks. I got time. So I'm looking on for this to get a decent little pullback. So we'll see how that goes. But this thing right here was just crazy today. Myself and Evan, we were watching this. And we were looking at time and sales this morning. As this was moving, somebody bought 1 million shares in one candle. This is the 1 minute this is the 1 minute chart. An order came across for 985,000 shares. One order in this candle right here. And we were like, yep, something big is really happening. And look at what really was big happening. Now think about that. You just bought almost 1 million shares. And there is no area where they really got out of them 1 million shares. This thing just petered along. So somebody is stacking to get a lot of money. That's crazy. That's crazy. If this thing would have moved 10 cents, they still was banking. This thing then moved 50 cents. And again, you don't really see where no big orders was coming out. They may have been scaling out maybe 10, 11,000 shares a piece coming through here, collecting profits off of that. But that's crazy. Look at that candle just stick out above all of those other candles. But I'll be watching this. And like I said, this thing has just been strong. Look at this. After hours, the market just closed at 8 o'clock. It was setting the high of day, $17. Crazy. But again, I'm going to be watching this thing to kind of pull back. I won't say fail, but pull back. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope to be sitting here tomorrow when the market opens to see what we can get. See if we can finish this week out strong. Right now, we have been green every day since the market, or not since the market opened. We've been green since the first of the year. So let's see if we can finish that up on Friday. Let's see. But again, that takes having some discipline, That takes having the wherewithal to be able to read these charts. Mark those areas on the chart so you know where the stock should pull back, where it should catch support, where it should catch resistance, and then just find your opportunity to get in that trade and take it. Thanks for checking me out as always. If you hadn't already hit that like button, please do so. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. And as always, we can continue the conversation in the comments. Until we meet again, peace.